Alright, welcome back, friends. This is M-Dog, and it's been a while since we did a trolling at Kuori video, so I figured I would just turn the old OBS on, hit record, and show you what I'm up to here. So we're trying to find the Kuori char, and I'll tell you, we're not finding them. I'll cut to the chase on that. But it's been pretty good fishing here overall. So I would say 90% of the time I've been trolling around the Ghost Island or whatever it's called out here. And switching back and forth between wobblers and spoons. Right now we've got 2 spoons on. 1 hunter and 1 Vico. We've got the Karuna Vicro 25 gram 010 with a fluff hook size 3.0. Wow, that was a quick bite and a nice one. Let me deal with this before I keep blabbing about what we're fishing with. This might have been the fish we've been waiting on, actually. Not necessarily a Kuori, but it's a good size. That's one thing I will say is, while we have been getting a nice number of markers, a lot of them are small markers. But if you are just looking for some fun fishing and don't mind trolling, you could do a lot worse than Kuori right now. Definitely watch the weather. If the weather's showing some cooler days, in my experience at least, you probably are going to have a little better time. That actually is a Kuori. Interesting. Okay. Well, it's a nice fish for the video. A little lucky there. Honestly, anything more than 6-7 kilos has not been very frequent. So don't let the fact that I just caught that fish color your expectations. In fact, if you go by weight, that's the largest fish we've caught. And if you go by Kuori, we've only caught 2, right? This one was on the Hunter 208, and this one was on the Vico 25 gram 10. So yeah, here's the other one we're using, the sort of mid-size Hunter 2008. Again, we do have a what I call a fluff hook on. It's a 2.0 size ultra treble, and pretty much the whole day. Now here at night, the bites are happening. I mean, late afternoon here, the bites are happening so fast that it's hard to effectively get the third rod out. But I have been fishing with a third rod almost all the time I've had this out. So I know I haven't had it out much in the video, but don't think that doesn't mean I haven't had it out. And it's my ultralight setup with our nice Trident pillar reel that we won in a competition, I don't know, 1.5 years or more ago. And we're using the Crank 3006. The ULF. And just one thing to notice here, it comes with size 8 hooks. I did put size 6 fluff hooks again. And if you'll give me just a little bit of time, I tell you what, at the end of this video I'm going to show you kind of where I'm fishing for burbot right now. The burbot and the char are biting somewhat decently off the old rock at the key, so we'll do that at the end here. And and then I'll try to remember to kind of go over. Tell you what, if we have a second here and we don't have a fish on, I'll show you real quick. So let's look up a funky minnow here. So for a lot of the day, I was also using this guy here, funky minnow S15001. I caught some nice fish on it today, although it's slower. Right now for me, the spoons are a little better bite rate, although the ultralight's been catching nice on that little wobbler, that little wobbler we're using. But This guy was not bad though. Not worth, I mean, it might be worth you trying. But when I talk about fluff hooks, these treble hooks, this is what I'm talking about. It's got this little red feather thing on there. So I'm kind of on a kick with these things lately. If I'm spin fishing, I'm usually throwing some of those on there, and if it seems to work, I keep going. If it's not working, I'll put the regular ones back on. But at Tunguska, Volkov, here, I've had pretty good experience so far using those fellas. Let me just say something to chat real quick. Okay, so that's unfortunate because that looked like a decent fish, but you saw sometimes that happens these days is you'll get a nice bite and then it'll pop right back off. You saw it go pretty full there on the ultralight and then pop off. There we go. So that one stayed on, which I like to see. And by the way, all these lures I'm using, I think there's probably a lot of lures you could use here right now. Go through some different things and see what's going to work best for you. If you're trying to target a specific fish, what I would do is just look on the weeklies for that fish. Look on the overall weeklies, look for the weeklies in your region, and that'll give you a good starting point. But don't stop there. I mean, switch lures around. Like I said, I started on that funky minnow wobbler, and what I found was that while it was catching some pretty nice fish, I wanted to try out the Vico, and it ended up being just as good, if not a little better. And but you know, as days go by, weather changes, don't be afraid to change stuff out, because just because something's on the weekly and was working at some point, that doesn't mean that factors haven't changed, and it might be better off. You might be better off using something else. Now, it's always exciting this kind of afternoon. You see we're getting a lot of bites here. Not all of them are noticeable or very large fish, but the activity here, first thing in the morning and last thing in the afternoon, evening, before you switch to burbot, is going to be really nice in terms of bite rate. A lot of Lakers and a lot of Arctics, with quite a few perch mixed in as well. Let's take a second here. We're getting a little full in our net. Let's just see if we got any lucky size perch. Yeah, that'll be good for the burbot at night. Let's see if any fish are on. Yeah, 2 fish on. And we'll go till about 2200, and then we'll switch over to burbot. So as far as feeder fishing, bait fish has been working pretty good, although for me at least, bait fish is still a lot slower for burbot, but it seems like on the bait fish you're more likely to catch some juicier ones. If you want to catch high bite rate of burbot, I would definitely recommend night crawlers right now. Fish pieces will catch them, catch some nice ones, but it's going to be a lot slower. And then with the night crawlers, you'll also get occasional trophy rough mixed in here and there. Even lake trout occasionally coming in on night crawlers. So you're getting a wider variety of things, as well as some pretty decent burbot. But I've been throwing in a couple of bait fish. If I catch perch during the day, I'll usually throw a couple of perch in and then some night crawlers. Just depends. we got about half an hour more, see if we can get another decent fish. And I definitely need to be cutting up some of these guys, or just getting rid of them. Not all the fish that we've kept here lately have actually been keepers. So we'll probably have, I don't know, 600 silver worth of fish in our net. But just know that that is no like scientific measurement. I have sold a lot of fish. I have kept some of the fish for possible cafe orders, and I've been trolling Kuori for, I don't know, 3 or 4 days now. So I think to set your expectations realistically, I would plan on trying to get 200 or 300 silver per day, even with the few burbot at night. I mean, you're going to have some days going to be a lot better than that, but not all days will be. It just depends on if you hit that big fish or a couple of big ones. Still going pretty strong. Let's see how it goes till 2300. There's no rush to get to the burbot. Let's cut up a few more fish while we've got a second. What I like to do with this wobbler is sometimes I will open the brake and then close it again. Just every once in a while, I have noticed that sometimes I will get a really nice fish sort of as I'm doing that. It's probably just random, but if I don't have a bite for a couple minutes, it gives me something to do. Because it is my third rod and it's my ultralight, I try not to throw it out too far, only because you want to be able to pull it in pretty quickly to be able to get to your other rods when they pull a fish. We'll try to roll right over that spot where we caught the Kuori a minute ago. And like I said, weather's really important. We're getting into some warmer days, a little overcast. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say it won't be bad necessarily, but just with the change in temps a little bit, I may need to sort of check some other colors of lures and stuff like that. If some of the faithful ones here start slowing down. All right. So let's head straight towards the dock here. I like it when the fish pieces are working on burbot here, and they are to a degree, but I just feel like the night crawlers have been getting better and better, and the fish piece has kind of been slowing down a little bit. That's going to be a marker. It's like the fish are coming out because they know the weather's about to change. Get their bites in. Savans have been not quite as hard to find as the Kuoris have, but definitely not a lot of them. No markers, at least right now. I'm not sure if I had some earlier. That's a decent sized little perch, I guess. You probably know this, but with spoons, sometimes it is worth, it's kind of the opposite of the divers. Sometimes it's worth letting them sink down and then starting your trolling motor. See how that bite happened while the brake was open? I don't know if there's anything to that, but it's not the first time I've seen that today. It's really late at this point. Very unlikely for us to catch too much trolling. I mean, if you really want to just troll through the night, you can, and you will occasionally get bites, but it is so slow compared to daytime. If you've got something you can throw some fish pieces or night crawlers in, it's probably worth your time to get off the boat and stretch your legs a little bit. Alright, so we're going to switch to our old carp rods. Not our new ones, but our old ones, which I've got set up. Unfortunately, I'd probably be better off actually using my newer carp rods because they have the more flexible, what am I trying to say? Bait fish range. See, even that one's a little big. Well, I tell you what we can do. This is a 42 gram. Let's try it with this. Yeah, we're good now. So we've got these at 30 clip. Okay, so we're just going 30 clip and basically just throwing at least towards that 10-meter pit. I'm not sure we're quite making it there with 30 clip. In fact, I'm not sure with that smaller sinker on we even made it 30 meters there. That definitely did, and popped back a little bit. So you can see where that landed. We weren't far off 30 on the bait fish, but we definitely didn't get there. We popped that thing way back. That's probably more like a 25 clip. So we did have frogs on here. I think that'll be too heavy unless we want to do that trick again. Let me just show you a couple burbot. In other words, let's don't wait too long. I've been using a little smaller hook for burbot lately. Do 4 on this. Smaller you go, the more other stuff you may catch, but alright, let's check the cafe real quick. That sounds like a bite that's still going to be developing for a minute here. Alright, so we need a 9-kilo burbot. Not a lot of great orders for the type of fishing we're doing. And I will just show you real quick, 643. Of course, that Kuori is going to be a lot of the silver. But it can add up here for sure. Did we get another bait fish at the end there? I can't remember what sizes we caught. Nah. Yeah, and that's a good point. I'm not using ground bait at all for burbot. You can use, there's some burbot appropriate ground baits that might even help your bite a little bit more. I don't know. Let's see what this is. Hopefully this will be a burbot. I want to at least show you that they are in fact biting here. Yeah. There we go. Don't need to pop it back near as far as we did last time. And if you're not doing bait fish, frogs, or bait fish, then I think it's probably worth doing 2 night crawlers, 1 fish piece. Because like I said, you are getting some nice burbot every once in a while on pieces of fish, but if you only use fish pieces, you could have some like really slow nights too. Where I feel like if you use night crawlers, you're going to at least see 3 or 4 burbot. At least in my experience. And so far, I don't feel like the bite rate has slowed down. It's been pretty steady. I mean, I wouldn't come here just for the burbot, but it's a nice little like rest your ears from the trolling and just do something a little different for a few minutes while you get ready for the next day of trolling. And I guess I could show you real quick the actual setups we're using. I don't think that's going to be a marker either, is it? One thing that I probably ought to try is using a little bit weaker line. I mean, I've got this really strong, like 27 kilo line on here. I don't know that burbot care, but just in case, we're using straight fluorocarbon. Speaking of straight fluorocarbon, all right, so we are fishing on, here's the ultralight 8.2 fluorocarbon line. Here's one of the ones we're using, 19.1 straight fluorocarbon line, steelhead. And then here's the other one, 19.1 straight fluorocarbon line. You're in a boat, you're trolling. I don't feel like having a ton of line on your spool is as important, especially with these two. We've got them on the sides. If we had to, we could even put them in the rod holder and chase the fish, you know, as fast as we needed to if we got into a really crazy fight. But for the most part, you can just kind of troll behind them and you're not going to get spooled. At Kuori, it's really hard to get spooled if you're using the boat at all. Well, we've just had some really unfortunate luck here with all of a sudden catching these non-marker burbot, but maybe if I'm patient for another few minutes, we'll at least get 1 marker for you. I don't guess I've had anywhere near trophy. Other people have caught trophies here recently. Even people in our chat. But, you know, some of you have probably spent so much time at Kuori trolling and stuff when you were first able to come here that you may have no interest in trolling Kuori unless it's just like absolutely crazy on fire. And I'm not saying that's what this is. But if you haven't trolled it in a while, it's at least pretty consistent bite right now, which is fun. And if you've just gotten to Kuori, hopefully this will help you with some ideas on how to approach it trolling wise. I don't know that bait fish actually has a fish on it. I think that may just be the slack that the bait fish created in it, but we're going to find out. Yeah, these are tiny burbot right now. Yeah, usually on the bait fish, it will sometimes get that slack just from the fish swimming around a little bit down there. All right, let's go ahead and wrap this one up. And then I'll get ready for trolling again if I'm going to stay. I might stay another day. See how it goes. let's get our rods ready to go here. And we'll start trolling again. I guess I'm going to sell some fish. Usually just keep some of the larger ones so that in case an order comes in. We'll sell down to the Kuori. So that's 44 silver. So everything right now is 641. We'll sell down to the Kuori 44 silver. And that leaves me with about 40 left in my net. So that should be fine. Maybe we should have used fish pieces that night. Sounds like some other people actually had better luck on fish pieces. So try both. I'm not sure. Night crawlers, fish pieces. If you want to feeder fish for a little longer, the char are biting somewhat, although I'm not sure if it's reliable enough. It certainly doesn't replace trolling. All right, as always, thanks for watching. Let me know how your fishing at Kuori is going, if you are indeed fishing here as well. But I will look forward to seeing you next time. Peace out.